Right now, a bank is deciding whether to give you a mortgage. An insurance company is pricing exactly how risky your life is. A doctor is estimating your odds of recovery. An AI is predicting exactly what you'll click next. All of it runs on math that is only 370 years old. Before 1654, none of this existed, not officially, not on paper, nowhere. For almost all of human history, the future was not something you calculated. It was something you guessed, or prayed about, or gambled on. There was no such thing as the odds. No insurance policy, no statistics, no risk tables. If someone asked, "What are my chances of winning?" nobody could actually answer that. Not because the math was hard, because the math didn't exist yet. And it took something surprisingly small to change that. Not a war, not a discovery in the stars, a card game that got interrupted. France, 1654. Gambling wasn't hiding in back rooms. It was a fashionable pastime of the French aristocracy. One of its most devoted players was a nobleman named Antoine Gimbaud, known by his title, the Chevalier de Méré. He wasn't a mathematician. He was a gambler who thought about gambling more carefully than most people ever had. And one particular problem had bothered him for years. Two players bet on a game of chance. Whoever wins a set number of rounds first takes the entire pot. But what if the game gets interrupted, stopped early before anyone has officially won? How do you fairly split the money? Split it evenly. That punishes whoever was winning. Give it all to whoever was ahead. That ignores the real chance the other player still had. This was called the problem of points, and it had gone unsolved for at least a century. Méré finally brought it to someone he thought might actually crack it, Blaise Pascal. Pascal was 31, a prodigy who had built a working mechanical calculator at 19. Pascal didn't have the answer either, so he did something unusual for the time. He wrote a letter to a lawyer in Toulouse named Pierre de Fermat. Fermat wasn't a professional mathematician. He was a magistrate. Math was just his obsession on the side. But he was, without exaggeration, one of the sharpest minds in Europe. In the summer of 1654, the two of them began exchanging letters. Here's the puzzle, simplified. Two players flip a coin. First to reach 3 points wins a pot of 100 coins. The score is 2-1, then the game stops. No more flips. Player A only needs 1 more point to win. Player B needs 2. How should the 100 coins be split? Pascal and Fermat's answer: don't look at the score. Look at what would have happened if the game had kept going. Imagine playing out every possible way the rest of the game could branch. Flip 1 heads, player A wins outright. Flip 1 tails. Now it's tied and 1 more flip decides everything. Out of every possible way the game could continue, player A wins in 3 out of 4 branches. Player B only wins in 1 out of 4. That ratio 3-1 is the fair split, not the current score, the likelihood of each possible future. This sounds almost obvious now. In 1654, it was completely new. No one had ever counted all the ways the future could unfold and turned that count into a number. Pascal and Fermat had just invented a way to measure uncertainty itself. Pascal organized these branching outcomes into a triangle of numbers, now known as Pascal's triangle. Every number in it counts exactly how many ways an outcome can happen. Chance had just become something you could count, row by row, like arithmetic. By the end of that summer, Pascal and Fermat weren't just solving Méré's card game anymore. Letter by letter, they were building an entirely new branch of mathematics, a way to assign an exact number to something that had never had one before, the likelihood of an uncertain future. They called it la géométrie du hasard, the geometry of chance. Today, we call it probability theory. For the first time in recorded history, luck had a number attached to it, not a superstition, not a gut feeling, a calculation anyone could check, repeat, and rely on. A gambling dispute between two Frenchmen had just quietly rewritten how humanity deals with the unknown. It didn't take a laboratory, a telescope, or an expedition. Just 2 sheets of paper and a shared curiosity. That's usually how the biggest turning points work. They rarely look big at the time. That idea didn't stay in a gambling parlor. Insurance companies use it to calculate exactly how much your policy should cost, based on the odds you'll ever need it. Stock markets price risk with it. Every option, every derivative, traces back to the same logic from that card game. Modern statistics, polling, and surveys all rest on the same foundation: quantifying uncertainty. Doctors use it to estimate the odds a treatment will work or a disease will spread. Meteorologists use it every time they say 70% chance of rain, an actual number, not a guess. Even AI, when it predicts your next word or your next click, is running a modern descendant of this exact idea. Casinos exist, profitably, precisely because this math is now so well understood. Every game is built so that over enough hands, enough spins, enough rolls, probability guarantees the house wins. Pascal and Fermat didn't just solve one gambler's dispute. They handed humanity a tool for taming uncertainty itself. It's one of the rare ideas that touches almost everything, all at once: money, medicine, weather, machines, and games. Every time a bank decides whether to approve your mortgage, every time a doctor estimates your odds of recovery, every time an algorithm predicts what you'll do next, there's a piece of Pascal and Fermat quietly working behind it. None of it existed until 2 men, writing letters back and forth in the summer of 1654, decided a card game deserved a real answer. It all started with a simple bet. Every video on this channel is built around one idea, one pivotal moment that quietly changed everything, explained clearly in under 15 minutes. If that's useful to you, subscribing means you don't miss the next one, and there's always a next one. And if this video changed how you think about something, even a little, hitting like is what tells YouTube to show it to someone else who needs it too. If this one was worth your time, there's another turning point video waiting for you right there.